Before I get started, this video was suggested by Mr. Crafter 37 in my enchantment table setup design ideas video. If you'd like to have input into any of the series that I do, then please feel free to comment down below or join my Discord server, which is linked in the description. Anyway, let's get right into the video. As of 1.16, if you die in the nether, there are going to be a few things that you want to have as soon as you respawn. Those being the respawn anchor, the lodestone, and some backup netherite gear. So why not create a room for that? Here are 5 nether hub designs that try and include the respawn anchor, the lodestone, and some storage for any backup gear, as well as some other features such as nether tunnels and beacons. So anyway, without further ado, let's take a look at them. Before I get started, I have come up with 2 different respawn anchor refill designs. Now, the first one over here was designed by Avamant, and it's a bit cheaper than this one over here, but it does take up a bit more space. All you need is a respawn anchor here with a dispenser filled with glowstone going into it. Then you need a comparator facing away from the respawn anchor, 12 redstone dust going into a block right at the end, and a redstone torch with one last piece of dust going into the dispenser. It has to be 12, any more or any less it will not work, and basically every time you die it will refill the respawn anchor. Now over here, this is a very compact design. I did come up with this one myself. I'm not sure if anyone else has done anything more compact or if anyone has done anything similar, but I'm pretty happy with this design. You need the respawn anchor here and the dispenser going straight into it. You need to have an observer beneath it and a piece of redstone dust beneath that going into a glass block. If it's not glass, you can use slabs, I think, but anything else probably doesn't work. Then you have a full block here with some redstone dust on it going into a target block. Now it needs to be a target block because the target block draws the redstone line into it, whereas any other block does not. Now, the way this works is if we fill this up with glowstone, it will basically repeatedly activate until it's full. So these are the 2 designs. If you have enough resources, I would highly recommend doing this one as it's much more compact, but this one's definitely easy to remember and it's a tiny bit cheaper, but I really don't think the difference is too big. My first design is primarily based around the blocks found mostly in the Crimson Forests, and this is a pretty small, I guess it would be a nether hub, I guess that's what you call it. But it is pretty functional. As you can see, we've got a floor made up of smithing tables and blast furnaces. Now this is mainly for the checkerboard pattern. It is a really nice combination of blocks. However, you could technically upgrade your tools or smelt down some ores with it. I think it's a bit expensive, but if you've got enough resources, then I would highly recommend using this. Then there's a trim around the room using this polished basalt and the top of the normal basalt block. There's also 2 anvils here just as decoration, but you can also use that for repairing. Over here we have a bit of storage in case you've died and you need to replace it. And behind the portal, hidden, is the respawn anchor design. And basically, if we set our respawn point and kill ourselves, as you can see, we will respawn here and it will automatically refill. We also have a raised platform here with the lodestone right in the center, which means you can add a compass to it and you can find it whenever you get lost in the nether. We also have a Blackstone roof, which looks lovely, and loads of pillars using the crimson stems. We have an upper trim using the crimson planks and the stripped crimson hyphae, and we have the entrance to some kind of nether tunnel using the blue ice. And obviously this one doesn't actually go anywhere, but you could easily extend this out and you could use any of these for something like that. Overall, this is a pretty small design, but at the same time it's really useful. You can even fit in a beacon here on there, but you need to make sure you dig all the way upwards to bedrock, because bedrock is the only solid block beacons can shine through. Otherwise it won't activate because the netherrack's in the way. But other than that, this is a really nice design and I hope you liked it. Let me know what you think down below. Now obviously, since we focused on the Crimson Forest, I guess we need to focus on the Warped Forest as well. We've gone with some kind of garden design here, which I think looks spectacular. These blocks fit really nicely in this kind of scenario. In the base, we have a path. It circles around the lodestone right in the center. I think this kind of looks like a sundial, so that's a really nice aesthetic for your garden. We have some natural plants over here, we have some twisting stems, and then we have some overworld plants over here. You can use all kinds of ones. It looks really nice nonetheless. And we've also hidden some shroom lights which add lots of detail and light. We can also go around here to a raised circular platform. Over here we have another respawn anchor refill. You also have to cover the back quite a bit, otherwise you may respawn outside of the Nether Hub, and you don't really want that, do you? We've got a lovely trim using the prismarine bricks, which works really nicely alongside the stripped crimson hyphae and the crimson planks. We've also got an enchantment table set up over there. We've also got the entrance to a possible nether highway, which you can use, you can use any of the areas for this. You can obviously expand it and use it how you want, and we have some storage over here. Overall, this is actually a pretty basic design. It looks pretty big and it does require a fair amount of resources, but once you've got them all, it's actually not too difficult to complete. Just make sure it's symmetrical, because otherwise it might get on your nerves, but other than that, it is a pretty nice design. Now I had to go with a smaller design for all you beginner players out there, the ones who aren't in the late or mid game just yet, because smaller designs are often better for those kinds of people, because obviously you need to collect loads of resources for larger nether hubs, so you might want to start off small. Anyway, as you can see, we've got a sort of overgrown mushroom cave, and it's really detailed with cobblestone, andesite and stone, and we've got things like wooden beams sort of acting like it's a mineshaft or something. We've got the weeping vines hanging down, which look really like roots or something hanging down from the coarse dirt. We've mixed in some coarse dirt and podzol into the ground as well, some brown mushrooms, some crimson fungi and some warped fungi, as well as the normal red and brown mushrooms. We have the respawn anchor set up over here, and we have some mushrooms in the side of the walls. We also use coral fans, which look really nice as step mushrooms as well. We've got the lodestone just hidden in the ground, which looks really nice but pretty subtle among these grayscale blocks. We have a nice hidden storage center here, and we have an armor stand in case you need to hold your armor above the shroom light, which is lighting up the cave. Now on my nether portals video, I did a very futuristic portal, and I decided to do a follow up on that. As you can see, we've got a nice futuristic cityscape. If you're building this on the roof of the nether, you obviously don't need to actually cover it up, and you also don't need to dig all the way to bedrock if you have a beacon. However, if you are doing this below the bedrock ceiling, then you may want to cover the roof up because the terrain will be in the way, but other than that, it's a pretty nice looking nether hub, if I do say so myself. It's sort of like a futuristic dimension, almost as if you're flying through some space age portal into a cyberpunk district, but as you can see, it looks really nice. We've got loads of colour alongside some muted greys and whites and things like that. We've got end rods for details, we've got concrete, all kinds of things. And this is just really easy to hide your storage in the buildings. As you can see, we've got the respawn anchor here. We've also got some details with some, I guess, chains carrying along some fuel or something for the portal to activate. And once again, we do have the observer underneath the respawn anchor to automatically refill it. And you can obviously hide all kinds of designs and entrances to nether highways in any of these buildings. I just haven't done it because I'm lazy. And finally, last but certainly not least, we have the final design, and this is also my favourite design. It's sort of like a feasting hall, which looks really nice in my opinion, and we've used a lot of the Blackstone blocks, so it's kind of like an evil one. But obviously you could use just stone bricks and things like that. It doesn't have to be evil, but you can change the palette around however you like. In the centre of the room we have a lovely little dining table with chairs around and a big throne right at the end. They've got some nice cake and decorations on the table. Around the room we've got end rods with sulfide torches to create some lighting for the room, and we've got some banners creating details and possibly a sense of lore in your room. As well as this, we've got a respawn anchor right at the back, but you can hide that wherever you want. And obviously you can have entrances to nether tunnels in any of these arches and trims here. We have 2 staircases going round the back to having a viewing platform, and we also have a set of netherite armor if you need to refill when you die. And we have the lodestone right on the wall adding detail. We also have dark oak, which works really well with the Blackstone in my opinion. It's probably one of the best looking blocks for this room. And we also have some viewing platforms over here which you can access, some storage on either side, and obviously there are some staircases at either side that you can just go back down to the feasting hall. Overall, this is a lovely little design in my opinion. It's probably my favourite since it's really survival friendly, but it's also really decorative and detailed. But overall, it's really nice, and let me know what you think down below. And those are all 5 of my designs. Let me know what you think down below. What kind of designs would you use? And are there any that you think I missed out on the list? Anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.